Hey, Coach Norvell. Yes, sir. I just wanted to call and congratulate you on your Tribe 22 album going platinum. Yes, sir. It's a big deal, and we're all proud of you, and we're going to send you something over real soon just to celebrate. Oh, yes, sir. We're real proud. Congratulations again, and go Noles.
What about this coaching staff is making it happen?
They just work, have energy from the time the visit starts to the time it ends.
Doors are wide open, baby!
FSU staff, man, they've been building and building and building, and I mean, it felt like a carnival was coming to town. Right there in Tallahassee on campus of Florida State.
Describe Sam McCall as an athlete is probably an understatement.
Fifth-rated athlete in the 2022 class.
Florida State commit, AJ Duffy.
Look at that.
Dang, this is what it feels to be at a big-time school.
Mike Norvell is on a roll right now.
A versatile player, one of the highest-rated football prospects in America.
Azariah Thomas.
Nah, this dude is a big-time deal. Everybody's after him.
Mark Graham.
Aaron Graham Jr. committed to FSU.
We got another beast on that offensive line. Quayshawn Sapp.
Bishop Thomas.
Defensive line commit Daniel Lyon.
Florida State, more than anybody else, showed me to be a priority.
Rodney Hill's the 45th rated athlete in the country.
Tight end, Terrell Powers.
I think Florida State, who he's leaning on right now.
I'm excited about the guys that we're recruiting. I'm excited about the guys that say yes.
I'm waiting on this one.
Welcome. I am Bryant McFadden. Everybody usually calls me B-Mac. So if you want to call me B-Mac, that's okay, right? So welcome to the 2021 Early Signing Day show here with Coach Norvell. An outstanding day if you're rooting for the Florida State Seminoles. This is always a big opportunity. This is the first step in becoming productive for the upcoming football season, taking care of the recruiting road. And we believe we did a great job today. And we're going to highlight some of these amazing prospects, amazing students for you guys today, so to get you guys fired up about what we will be seeing in the near future. Some of these kids will be enrolling early, so you will get an opportunity to see these kids during the spring. A lot will probably enroll in the summertime, but most importantly, by August, all of these kids will be here wearing the garnet and gold. And I'm here with the man of the hour, Coach Norvell. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, check this out. For you guys that might not know me, I believe in energy. I believe in positive energy. So if you feel like you're a little sleepy, go out, come back in, get a drink. But we are here to celebrate big things, all right? So I don't like people just acting like you're in the library or in a class. We're not in a class. Let's talk, let's have fun, and let's get fired up. But Coach, man, how you feeling about the class? You just signed 14 amazing prospects. How do you feel?
No, I feel great. And today is a celebration for the 14 student athletes that have chosen to come here to Florida State. And this is a class that I'm really excited about. You know, obviously today is the first day that guys can sign. We will continue on through the process through here Friday where guys can sign the letter of intent. And then we'll go all the way to the second signing date there in February. But this class and how we've started today, we were able to address some very specific needs. We knew that we wanted to really have a focus on the offensive line. Today we signed 4 student athletes, big boys up front. That is a great class. And then we were able to address some, we needed to bring some dynamic playmakers. And, today you see Sam McCall with the first NLI that comes through, an extraordinary, football player from Lake Gibson High School in Lakeland, Florida. And then, we had a surprise of the day, Azariah Thomas from Niceville that, just a guy that both those young men will start in the defensive backfield. But we believe that they bring great playmaking ability to this football team. But, we were able to address very specific needs, quarterback is a very special player in AJ Duffy. Defensive front. I mean, obviously we can go through all 14 right now, but we're going to share a little bit more about that overview. But this is a dynamic start to what I think is going to be a very special class.
You talked about some of the needs, but take us through the process. What goes into this moment for you as a head coach and your entire staff?
Well, it's been a unique process. This class and this group of young men, we've been recruiting for the better part of 2 years. And the first year with COVID, all the restrictions that not being able to get them on campus, and I have to thank all of our staff. I mean, coaches, support staff. I mean, all the people associated here at Florida State for the impact that they made in being able to present our wonderful university and program. But we were unique. I mean, whether it was a midnight madness at 12:01 on June 1st, getting prospects here on campus, to the way that we pushed to build those relationships, and that's really what stood out. Going out and being able to get to see these young men going into their schools, especially after that year layoff where we weren't able to have that opportunity. Not only are these great players that we're bringing in, but incredible young men and truly the right fits for Florida State football.
And you talk about the most important position on the football field, you guys know who that is. It's the quarterback, right? And we went and got a big-time guy at the quarterback in AJ Duffy. And if you don't have a quarterback, trust me, the field is 150 yards. It's not 100 yards. You got to drive an extra 50 if you don't have a quarterback. We believe we got a quarterback. And tell us a little bit about AJ and what makes him so special.
He's a tremendous player. He's a son of a coach. Ironic, I actually used to, when I was at Arizona State as offensive coordinator, I actually recruited, AJ's dad, his high school. So I've known AJ since he was a young boy growing up, and just to see him develop, he was such a smart quarterback.
You said you recruited a dad?
Well, I actually recruited his dad's high school. He is dad's a high school coach.
How old are you?
But I bet AJ was probably 10, 11 years old back at that time.
My bad.
But, and just to see him grow up, his development, he's a tremendous athlete, has a great arm, can make all the throws, but he has the it factor, tremendous leader. You did a great job at IMG here this last year, and we think that he's going to be a dynamic player for us as he continues to grow and move forward.
Will he enroll early, or will it be in the summertime?
He will. He'll be here in January, so that's going to be a great jump start to his career, and we have a big class that's going to be here, starting in January, so, between probably 16 to 20 players that will be enrolling here come January 5th.
Well, let's see exactly what Mr. AJ Duffy have in store. I know we have a few highlights of him throwing touchdowns and shredding some secondaries. Hopefully he can shred some secondaries for us outside in the stadium. What I see from AJ watching this tape is a guy that's always cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. And you don't usually see quarterbacks in the high school level go through progressions, especially the second or third progression. But you see AJ doing that a lot. And what I mean when I say progressions, for you guys that might not understand football terminology, it's the pass catchers. You usually have 3 to 4 progressions in a route concept. So when you see a quarterback go through the first wide receiver or pass catcher, that's the first, the second, the third, the fourth. That's always a huge emphasis when it comes to quarterbacks. One thing you also got to realize with AJ's ball placement, he has an ideal placement when it comes to dropping the ball in the bread basket. He hits wide receivers in stride. He's an anticipator of a thrower. And those are Sunday-like throws. Now, I'm not saying he will play on Sunday. I hope he will. But you see some skill traits that a lot of guys that play on Sunday display week in and week out. And Mr. AJ has that. And most importantly, he's a good kid. I love being around good kids. I don't like bad kids. He's a good kid. And that's what we're recruiting here. So kudos to you and your staff. Understand it's not just about football. It's about being high character, quality, sound individuals, and that's the most important people you need to have around.
And we want it all here because, who they are on the field, I mean, that's what's going to set them apart, but who they are off the field is what's going to leave the legacy. And, these guys are special young men. Especially young men, you're really looking forward to what they're going to bring and to be able to add to the foundation that's been built here at Florida State.
No doubt, no doubt. So thank Coach Norvell for joining us. He will be back shortly later in the show. But now, enough talking about the pretty boys. Let's talk about the defenders, right? Let's talk about the guys who get you the championships. You know what I'm saying? Defense win championships. I can care less what they're saying now about these air raid offenses. It's all about defense. And the best individual that we need to have up here with me talking defense is defensive coordinator Coach Fuller. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You fired up. I know you did a pretty good job today. Talk about the storyline when it comes to your defense and type of players that you would love to continue to incorporate in what you do schematically.
Yeah, I think as many big, fast, physical, powerful kids that we can find, and we did that. We found real balance in this year's class, too, bringing guys in at all 3 levels. Mm-hmm. And, with the way we play defense, I mean, we're going to accelerate the playmakers at all 11 spots. And, even with those defensive tackles that we brought in this year, I mean, we want guys that have the ability to make plays all over the football field. And I feel really good about the 6 guys that we brought in on defense.
You brought some big guys in. You did a tremendous job a year ago in winning the ball game at the line of scrimmage in the trenches. How important is that for you defensively to be able to set the tone in the trenches?
Yeah, I mean, that group for us is critical. The day that Coach Norvell and I got here, I met with Coach Hagans, and it meant enough for us to hire 2 D-line coaches with Coach Hagans, Coach JP, and they do as good of a job as anybody in the country. And that is the front porch of our defense. That's where it starts, the effort, the physicality, the playmaking. We saw some glimpses of it this year, and we're going to continue to grow that way.
What should we expect to see from your defense? We saw a lot of different exotic-type pressures and things like that, but what's the mentality going forward, understanding and knowing you understand your roster a lot better than probably a year ago and knowing what these kids do well?
Well, I think you want to be able to look at our guys play, and you want to be able to see the speed. And not just the speed on how we play, but the speed on how we communicate, how we get lined up, how we execute, how we're on and off the field. It starts there. And then just the toughness and the physical toughness, the mental toughness. I thought our guys really improved as the season went on. Just when their backs went against the wall, I think that's when we played our best, and I think you got to see that. And then just playing smart football, and that's not just situationally, but that's just playing with each other, playing for each other. The energy that it takes to be able to play 11-man football. And I love the way we're starting to develop as a group, and I think these 6 guys bringing in really adds to that culture that we're building.
Last question for you. This past year, we saw some young guys, some true freshmen step up and play big-time football. Based on some of the guys you just signed today on the defensive side, do you see any of these prospects potentially coming in and contributing early?
It's hard to say. Last year, obviously, with Kevin Knowles started most of the year at nickel, and Duke Cooper played a lot of football for us. We got a little snap out of Josh Farmer, but we signed a lot of line of scrimmage players last year, and that's a developmental position just because of where it's at. I think with Azarie and Sam coming in, I think in the back end, with how we play, I think, they have a chance.
Yep.
Omar Graham for sure. Just with the depth that we have at that position, his athletic ability, his maturity, I think, will really lend a hand. And I think all 6 of these guys we're hopeful to get here in January, which will really help.
I love Omar. He's a South Florida kid from Broward County, and I'm from Broward too. So last time I checked, when we get kids from Broward County, they do pretty well. Kevin Knowles played pretty good football for you too.
I think we had this conversation last year, and you called that
no
one,
question.
so I'm with you.
Kevin went to my high school, so he has no other choice but to ball out. It's just a standard. It's just a standard. But, Coach, thank you for joining me here, giving us a quick overview on the defensive side. And now let's transition to the new man in charge when it comes to calling offenses. Coach Atkins will be joining me here to talk the overview of the offense. Coach Atkins, of course, he's an offensive line coach, but we heard some news that, he got anointed to be the OC. So I wonder, is he nervous? What's happening, Coach? One thing I can say about you, Coach, I watch you, Coach. You fired up and your guys are fired up as well. I love seeing the players be a splitting image of the coach.
Oh, yeah.
Is that directed or is that just kind of come and goes?
I think they spend enough time with me. You want them to kind of mimic the consistency that you show and what it takes in the room. So I have to show it through action first. So I can't go out there and be the guy that's standing in the same spot trying to get it done. I got to get out there and move, and I can't tell them to move, and they're not going to move unless I'm moving.
Exactly.
They're going to kind of go at the same pace I go, so I got to pick up my pace as I go.
Well, when you look at this offense, you have a new role. You nervous?
Well, the good thing is we hadn't got to that point yet. We wanted to celebrate these
kids. You haven't started losing sleep yet.
I hadn't even started none of that yet. I just wanted to make sure this O-line was right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
That's the foundation. I tell people the O-line is like the transmission in the car. If you ain't got no transmission, you ain't going nowhere.
No doubt. If you ain't blocking, it don't matter.
No question. No question. But when you look at the offensive overview and understanding what your role will be for this team last year, tell us a little bit about the importance when it comes to the offensive line.
Well, number one, we wanted to get some versatility.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring in some guys that can do multiple things. And the first thing I wanted to really focus on was the character, number one, because we're the unit on the field. So I had to bring in guys that wanted to be a unit even through recruiting. So my guys were tight before, they're tight now.
I love that.
They already communicate with each other. They support each other. They showed up each other's games. They held each other accountable. They talked about wins and losses. I was really just spectating. I mean, the last recruiting conversation I had with my guys was probably on their official visit.
Oh, really?
Everything was just more of, how are we going to develop? how are we going to build relationships, and how are we going to support each other on and off the field, because, if we're a unit on the field. The left tackle has to know what the right tackle is doing all the way around, so it can't be a huge me emphasis, and you have to start that in that recruiting process so it doesn't cause them a shock when they get here.
Gotcha. So you're basically establishing a brotherhood within the offensive line.
They have to have it. And they're coming in together, so they started with them, and then as they come, now they establish the relationship with the room.
Okay.
And that's the big thing, and that's why I'm glad, most of those guys have been committed for a long time. So they knew where they wanted to go. They had their mind up on what they wanted to do, so they established a relationship with each other. And it was just fun to watch how their reaction to everything, from the start of the season to the end, to the ups and downs of recruiting, of how consistent those guys were. Like, Coach, don't worry.
Yeah.
So I was proud to see that.
Well, let's look at some of these buffet eaters that you got coming to town very, very soon. Y'all like buffets. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, COVID kind of slowed it down.
Yeah,
so we had to start, we slimmed up a little bit. But we back now, though.
No question, no question. First prospect, Kenyatta Charlton.
Oh, yeah, Kanaya, man.
Kanaya.
Especially about Kanaya, he might be valedictorian down there. He's a smart kid, man. He's a massive dude.
Left tackle.
Oh, yeah, he can move. And one thing you'll see about Kanaya is he's going to have some fun out there. He is a grown man out there. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures we took together. I don't yell at him yet. I want to see and test kind of his temperament first before I get after him a little bit. And see how he takes it, so I'm going to ease into that situation.
Okay,
But the most thing I'm proud about Kanaya is, and I want to talk about, is his fight through adversity, which has been amazing, and we're going to get into details of that as we go, but he's been amazing.
Next prospect is Jalen Early. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Early.
Jalen Early, another guy that plays some left tackle, and we wanted to get some tackles in his class that can be possibly move inside, but he's a true tackle, played some guard in high school, physical, and his big thing is athletic ability to recover. You're going to be laid off the ball. You're going to take a bad step. Can you athletically recover to stay in position, anchor your weight to get the job done? He shows a great display of that. You'll see him pulling, running. We like to pull the guards, tackles, centers. So we want him to get out there and knock some people out. These highlights are going to be fun, because these guys get after people now, and that's what we need.
Okay. Next prospect, after we watch Mr. Early, bulldozer a few people.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch these guys.
Yeah, Dontre Richardson.
Homegrown from Tallahassee.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now, he went down to a great football program down there in Miami Central.
They got some dogs in Miami Central.
Oh, yeah. And that's another kid, as I'm thinking about all these kids, the adversity they face, and we'll get into that another time, and to see them having this kind of success on the field and showing the resilience that they have, it just warms my heart. But Daughtry's another guy, he plays tackle. He's a tackle position. But, actually, when Coach got a chance to see him, he played guard because he wanted to get in there, and he said, I just want him right there next to me so I can get my hands on him. Yeah. So just the physicality showed, the finish, the effort, the toughness. And what I liked about him is he got better as the season went. And that was big time. So he's a developmental body, long, lean body. Looks like a power forward is what you want those tackles to look like. Recovers with his feet, play with some length. But as we keep teaching him the tackle position, I'm overly excited for him.
Yeah. I saw Richardson, dressed up nicely. I don't know where he was going, but look like he got a little swag about himself.
He was
so I like that too.
Yeah, that's one thing you would see. O-line, big man, we get a bad rap.
Some of y'all can dress.
We can get saucy out here.
Not all, but a few. And the last prospect.
I've seen some little ones struggling too now.
Yeah, you're right. Let's look at Mr. Quayshawn Sapp.
Sapp up there in Lee County. Now he is the leader in that group. He would text me when any change, Coach. Sapp likes to have fun. Now he likes to hit. He enjoys. One thing I'll give him a compliment. We had in a camp, and Sapp came to camp, and we filmed the camp drills. And when we saw with Sapp, what kind of made us make the decision was, so in camp you get in line and you do drills, and we went, some guys go and some guys stand in the back. While other guys were going, Quayshawn was standing in the back, mimicking the guys in front of him and stealing a rep before he got a rep. So he was self-motivating, self-coaching, and that's something that, you can't, it's hard to find that. Well, he was like, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to take reps when I'm not taking reps, and his focus level and his paying attention. Also, another kid that has a tremendous story. I can't wait for him to tell it because they know how to overcome and they know how to play together, and I'm overly excited about them.
You got you a nice group of guys, for this signing period. I don't know if you're trying to sign any more O-linemen.
We out here. We gonna get
You can't have the whole recruiting class be O-linemen, Coach.
We can.
You got
we can.
That's a selfish thing. You're just talking about
Coach
togetherness and brotherhood.
He said, if they're good enough, let's ride.
Yeah, you can never have enough O-linemen.
No question.
No O-linemen. With Coach Atkins, newly OC, Florida State, highlighting the offensive line positional players we just signed. Next up, let's take it to the back end. Well, all the swag is in the secondary. You walk a little different when you play in the secondary. You got to walk a little different when you coach in the secondary. That's just how it is. You know, we feel good about ourselves, man. Coach Wilson is joining me now, defensive back coach, Florida State. Man, Coach, just talk about the DBs and the perspective on some of the guys you were able to sign, 2 guys, and how important they will be for this class.
Yeah, well, first off, you know, we signed 2 men of high class, 2 kids. You know, both of them are really high character kids. They fit us here at Florida State, and I'm glad that they saw that Florida State fits them as well. You know, both of them are coming in. They both have versatility. They can help us in all 3 phases of the game. They both played receiver in high school and both played corner for their high school as well. So, you know, it's always good to have guys that can do multiple things to give you some flexibility for what position that they end up playing.
Yeah, and I know one thing about the secondary, you don't mind just throwing in some of the young guys. Do you believe either guy will have an opportunity of getting into this lineup at some point in time?
Absolutely. You know, Coach Fuller kind of hit on it earlier, but the good thing is that the plan is for both of them to be here in the spring, to get here and learn what we do schematically. And physically, I'm convinced, and we're convinced that they can help us as soon as they get on campus.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at some of these outstanding guys in the secondary, starting off with Mr. Sam McCall. Sam McCall, you said he's a corner, he's a safety?
Yeah, he can play corner, he can play safety. We're going to start him at corner and always
Florida.
have the ability to play him at safety. You know, the one thing about Sam, both of them are coming from winning programs. So that's something that's really important in terms of recruiting. They both went deep into the playoffs with the season at both teams that they are coming from, and you know, both of them obviously had a tremendous impact with helping them get that far. Sam is a kid that has tremendous ball skills. You know, made plays on both sides of the ball.
He went up and go get it at the highest point.
Absolutely, that's the one thing
he
that he
basketball,
has. Coach? He does not, but he can. He has played before. He's not going to play this year, obviously, with him enrolling in the spring. But he has punt return ability, kick return ability. And this is a punt return here. And I was actually at this game, so I got a chance to stand on the sideline and watch this. It was exciting to watch.
How big is Sam?
Sam is about 6'1", about 185. He has good girth, so he's a long kid, and size won't be an issue. He'll continue to get bigger as well.
Okay, next defensive back prospect, Azariah Thomas.
Azaria.
I'm sorry, Azaria. My
Thomas.
bad.
Yeah.
He wore number 8. I wore number 8, Coach.
Absolutely. High expectations.
Yeah, we got to keep 8 in the secondary.
Absolutely. But, you know, it was a interesting just recruiting process with him. Early on, he was able to come up to, I think, a junior day that we had. We knew right then he was a good fit, come from a single-parent mom, a great family. He's a kid that had a chance to watch 2 older brothers be college student athletes. So he's been through the recruiting process, watching them go through it, and just the progression, man. High character kid, very involved with the community in terms of community service. So he's going to impact us not only on the field, but off the field, in the community, in the classroom, and represent us in a first-class way in all aspects.
Well, I see a lot of highlights with him playing offense. Will he be in the return game as well, or you really haven't thought about that? Look like he's comfortable with the ball.
I'm sure Coach Papuchas, Coach JP got plans for him to be a returner for sure. And, you know, we're going to utilize him on both sides of the ball because he has that ability for sure. But I'm excited about Azaria. You know, he's a very intelligent kid, a student of the game. Just the other day, I was at his high school, and he was taking me through the playbook from an offensive perspective and coaching me up on all 11, and did the same thing from a defensive perspective as well. So just the mental aspect, the physical aspect, we're convinced that he'll be able to come in and impact us right away.
So basically, he's a smart football player.
Absolutely.
I love smart football players. You can win with smart football players.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you business-savvy folks out there, you can't win with some not-so-smart business people, right? That's why y'all sitting here, because y'all make good decisions. Yeah. Same thing with football. You got to have smart guys, and Coach got some smart guys coming in the secondary. We can't wait to see these guys take the field, Coach. So great job. Coach Woodson, defensive back coach, joining me here, talking about the secondary. Guys, next up.
Thank you. Go Noles.
Let's transition to the offensive end again. Coach Thompson is joining me, tight end coach. It seems like every year we signing like 4 or 5 tight ends. Coach really loves some tight ends. Tight ends, he loves some tight ends, guys that can block and run. So I know you're excited about the 2 guys you just signed today as well. Tell us a little bit about, Brian Courtney and Jarrell Powers, Coach.
Yeah, starting out, the main thing we wanted to get in this class was just guys who are high-end athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We got a really good room. We got some experience coming back. We got some really good young players already in the program. So what we set out to do was get some high-end athletic guys. Brian Courtney is actually a high school quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really drew us to him initially.
How big is he, Coach?
He's about a 6'3". He's about a good 6'3" right now and about 225,
Okay.
230. But big quarterback. They did a lot of quarterback run game with him. He's got really good ability to run with the football. But he was a guy that was a 4.56 verified 40 and a camp in the spring, and that's really what initially you can see him.
4.56?
Yeah, 4.56.
Oh, he can run.
And had great vertical jump numbers. All the athletic numbers with him were high end. And then, you see the athleticism, then you start to dig into the person. He's an excellent student, very smart kid. Quarterbacks a lot of times transition to the tight end position, and that intelligence really helps them.
Yes, sir.
And then you go to his school. They opened up a brand new school there at Independence about 3 or 4 years ago, and the whole building, from administrators to teachers to coaches, all talked about how this kid was really the one that helped elevate that program and get it to a championship level in a short period of time. So you're plugging in a guy with high character, high leadership ability into the program. He should be a great special teams guy as well.
Well, looking at his highlight, he reminds me a lot of Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how you guys plan on utilizing him, but, he's a former quarterback. He's athletic. Will it be any of that in the forefront for him, looking at how the Saints utilize Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Norvell's always going to come up with some crazy stuff. Coach Atkins, they'll get in there and start coming up with crazy stuff, and I'm sure they'll use him in some quarterback situations. And we've done that a little bit with Wyatt Rector. He'll, with his intelligence, his ability to learn, he's going to be able to do multiple things.
Yeah, okay. And next up, Jarrell Powers. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Powers.
Jarrell, another high-end athlete. Not getting to go out and see these guys in the spring, you really didn't know what you were getting until you had them on visits. I mean, you can see Jarrell right here. That was actually his junior year, but he comes from a great program. They're about to play for the state championship at the highest level in Texas this weekend. Coach Samples is one of the winningest coaches in the state of Texas. They're at Duncanville High School, same high school as Jalen Early, and he's known for preparing guys for college. He pushes them really hard, so these guys will be ready when they come. Jarrell was a guy that when he showed up on his visit was a legitimate 6'4", 238-pound kid. He plays mostly receiver at Duncanville. He'll transition. His biggest adjustment, just like Brian, will be learning how to block, but those guys they've got the tools to do it. Jarrell's a high-end athlete. And again, that's what we wanted to add to the room. We feel like we got that again. And Jarrell's a kid, much like Coach Atkins mentioned, he's a kid that's overcome a lot. Lost his dad at an early age, and him and his mom, and their family have just done a great job of getting him to this point. And he's really excited to be a Florida State Seminole.
Real quick, Coach, before I let you go, how important is the tight end position for what you guys do on offense?
It's critical. It's it's a big part of what Coach Norvell has always done. I go back to Arizona State with him coaching there, and we always had tight ends that were productive there. You look at what they did at Memphis, and then the tight end here has been used a lot. We like to play 11, 12 personnel a lot. Sometimes 13. We'll put 3 of them out there. So it's a very important spot. It's a spot that's fun to coach in this offense, and we got a great group, the guys that are coming in, but also the guys that we already have. We have a great group of kids.
Well, there you have it, guys. Coach Thompson talking about some of the outstanding tight ends you guys will see in the near future. You can never have enough tight ends, clearly, because the Coach Norvell loves tight ends. So,
yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you for joining me. Next up, let's get to the trenches. We had an opportunity to talk to Coach Atkins about the offensive line guys, but let's talk about the guys that's going to beat up on Coach Atkins guys in practice. We got 2 outstanding coaches getting ready to join me. Coach Higgins, who coached me, recruited me when I was here. Coach JP, he didn't recruit me, but he probably wished he could have recruited me. But guess what? We're all here now, right? So, Coach, understanding that guys in the interior is very, very important. That's why you got two individuals up here talking about these guys, because they get things going. You know, defensively, you saw how our guys were harassing offensive linemen this past year. And these two guys had a lot to do with some of the success they've been doing. So you've been doing a good job. Now the pressure is on. Let's do it again, right? So, Coach Odell, I mean, you signed three guys, Aaron Hester, Daniel Lyons, and Bishop Thomas, man. Before we talk about the individual talent, just talk about the overall success. You know, what are you trying to do this upcoming year with the guys on the defensive line for 2021?
First of all, Brian,
2022, I'm sorry.
You know, 2022, you want to develop the grit.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing up front, the grit and the heart. A lot of people look at kids and they big and they fast, but what if they don't have that grit and heart up front, because you're getting hit at every angle as possible, front, back, side. You just got to have that grit in the instincts and toughness, man. Toughness. Just like Coach Fuller say, them big guys that can run, they make it miserable for offense. Yeah. You get Robert Cooper, 330 pounds, running down the side, a running back cut it back and he hit it. That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
But that grit and the toughness and running to the football, relentless.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah. What about you, Coach?
Well, you know, one of the things I think we were able to do this year is, as this defense really grew and kind of evolved under Coach Fuller, was establish a four-man pass rush. And, you know, I was really excited to see us do that. You know, this past year, I think we had 30 sacks on the defensive front, which when you can do that, that allows you a lot of flexibility to do a lot of different things in coverage, as you know. So, you know, we got to recreate that pass rush with the guys that we have coming in, you know, keep developing the guys that are in the program, and I'm really excited about what the future holds.
What was the mindset for you guys attacking this early signing day period when it comes to the defensive line?
Well, to get guys that fit Coach Norvell, and to fit our coaching staff and fit our team. That's the mindset. Guys going to do things the right way, the no way. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
JP, you got anything
on that? Very similar. You know, we were looking for guys that obviously we thought would come in and we can continue to grow and develop within the program. And then, you know, obviously we got some really young, talented guys that are here. So we're trying to look to add to that mix, and like Coach said, we want to make sure we get the right guys, and you know, I feel really good about what we were able to add today.
Well, let's get to some of these outstanding prospects that you guys will be coaching in the near future. First prospect just signed Aaron Hester. Big Aaron Hester. Was defensive end?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Mr. Hester.
Yeah, so Aaron, you know, early on when we got here, we were, you know, because of you know, when we arrived as a staff and kind of the COVID restrictions in terms of recruiting, the 22 class, we were really targeting that. And Aaron was one of those guys that immediately jumped off the page at us. He's an athletic kid who's physical off the edge. Obviously, his dad, Ron, played here. He's born a Seminole. You know, I don't think there was any other school that he ever had any thoughts of attending. And that's important to us because, you know, when you play for the logo on the side of your helmet, and you take great pride in that, that says a lot about who you are. And he's a violent, physical kid who's a serious worker. And, you know, he gets here in January, so I can't really wait to start working with him.
Okay. How big is Mr. Hester?
Aaron's about 6'2", 235 right now.
Okay, he can be in that corner. Being in that corner is super important, huh, Coach?
No question.
Yeah.
No question. He has that twitch off the edge, and he's going to provide us a lot in the pass rush.
Okay. Next up, Mr. Daniel Lyons.
Well, B-Mac, Daniel Lyons from Homestead. He's 6'4", about 275 pounds, and the kid can bend. That's the first thing. He plays hard, and he's very active, and he runs down the line. This is a kid, he's a two-pronged player. He can play the run, he can rush the passes. That's what we're looking for, huh, Coach Fuller? That's it. And he will run to the football. Coach Norvell saw him run down the screen. He looked at me. I said, Coach, that's the way we like him. He said, yes, keep getting him like that.
Yeah.
And Dane's a great kid. I mean, a great kid. Parents, good people.
Yeah. And what I'm saying too, you guys, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, we've been seeing quite a few guys from South Florida. So it's always great when we can go into the enemy's turf and take some of their top prospects. Y'all know who the enemy is, right? Yeah. Yeah. Keep doing that. I love that. Just go in there and take some of their best prospects and go ahead and put them in Garden to Gold. Next up, Mr. Bishop Thomas.
Talk about him, Coach.
Well, we got him, Mr. Bishop, out of New Orleans, but
out of
Orlando.
New Orleans and Orlando. A tremendous two-way athlete. And that was one of the things that jumped off the screen to us when we first evaluated him, was just all the different things that he could do on a football field and the athleticism that he showed. I think that's him catching the ball right there. Yeah. Yes. So, and that was that clip, Coach Odell and Coach Norvell, we were all watching, and we kind of looked at each other and said, I don't know how many D tackles can do that. So,
not many.
No. So we're really excited about his athleticism, and he's got a little bit of an edge and a mean streak to him, which obviously you need to play up front. And, another guy that's going to be coming in mid-year, chomping at the bit to be here. And, I'm really excited about working with him. But really a tremendous athlete.
Anytime you can see a 300-pound guy playing offense and catching passes, he's super athletic. So I guess the one-on-one drills between you and Coach Atkins, it should be intense this year, right?
We're going to get after him a little
bit. Big smooth. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It will be fun.
But I tell you this, man, sitting here with Coach Papuchis, man, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Us sharing the room together, and I enjoy it, man, and I appreciate you. And where's Coach Norvell? I appreciate you, brother, for taking my school and doing what you're doing with it. I appreciate you and love you.
There we have it. Well, that means a lot coming from Odell. Odell been here since the 1950s, so he understands. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Hey, I want to say hello to my lovely wife.
Hey, how you doing? See, everybody know the Higgins. Everybody know the Higgins. They've been here forever. But thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach, for joining me. Now, next up, let's bring in Coach Yak and Coach Shannon. We have two outstanding prospects that we're going to talk about. Coming from, matter of fact, we done stole some more from South Florida, looks like. Coach is doing a great job in tapping into that pipeline down in South Florida. So we got two outstanding coaches, Coach Yak, recruiting coordinator, and Randy Shannon, newly linebacker coach. He used to coach for the enemy. He understands the water's a little better up here than it is in South Florida. It ain't got no filtered water down there, but it took you long enough. Coach Yak, man, tell us a little bit about Omar Graham Jr. and Rodney Hill. I know we're going to talk some of their highlights, but talk about the importance in being able to tap into South Florida.
I think it was major. When you have the GOAT up here with you, who can go anywhere in Florida and everybody recognize him, and you got to kind of stand back and like, no, not you. I want to take a picture with him. So I understand. Matter of fact, let me take the picture. So it's major to have Coach Shannon here with us, and he can go in there and kind of get anybody we want out of there. So that's been major for us. But we need to continue to kind of build those relationships down there and continue to attack.
Yeah, Coach, with you being the new linebacker coach, man, what's the mentality when it comes to guys that you're looking to coach?
Guys that like to have a lot of energy, a lot of fun, enjoy themselves, enjoy playing the game, but be leaders. Because once you're in the linebacker position, you got to understand you have the run game, we have to get the big guys lined up, and then you got the pass game, we have to communicate all the time with the secondary. So you got to be the leader or the quarterback of the group, and those guys are very rare, but those are guys you'd like to have.
When you look at this class, signing 14 kids when it comes to linebackers. Of course, you got Omar Graham out of Stranahan, Fort Lauderdale. Is there any other kids you're thinking about trying to attack in the final signing day in February?
There's some guys out there that we're really looking at. Coach Norvell always stressed getting the best players to help win, that help best fits the team, most importantly, but also guys can bring something to the team. We're not just going to sign anyone just because it's a number. It have to be better than what we have. Anybody that we're bringing in at this point in time we feel like they're better than what we have when they came in as freshmen. And that's the way we go.
And Coach Yak, when you look at the entire class, man, signing 14 guys is a very, very plus, big time plus, you know what I mean? But what do you envision this class being in totality when it's all said and done?
I think this is the class that's going to get us over the top. These guys, they fit us. And like Coach Odell was saying earlier, we have to find guys who actually understand who we are, and have to understand our coaching style. So that's why building those relationships with these kids, they understood who we was as coaches, and we're going to coach them hard. We really want smart players. That's why you hear the same things over and over with guys saying that how smart these kids are. We have to have smart football players. Yeah,
and talking about smart football players, let's look at some of the highlights. Omar Graham Jr. is up first out of the 954. Broward County, once again, do a great job in coming up here and balling out. So let's see what Mr. Graham has in store. Tell us a little bit about Omar.
Omar's unique. Omar's really unique. It's one of the I think, one of the best stories that you have, because he's a tailback when he was in 10th grade, and he has a lot of vision as a tailback. You can see holes. But when you translate it to guys that plays linebacker, he's very fast, very athletic. He's a guy that can play first, second, and third down, but he create turnovers and create havoc for everybody. He's a guy that you always want to have. What we looked at when I was in NFL with the Dolphins, a guy who's athletic, that can play every down, that also can create something. But also, and I tell Odell this all the time, his job is to make sure that he pull offensive linemen off the D-line.
Mm-hmm.
If his job is continue to do those type of things, either they double the defensive line and he's free, or they come off on him and the D-line is free. That's what it's all about, working together as a team.
They got a nice receiver down there, too. He's an underclassman, right?
Yes, he does. Really nice receiver.
Yeah, we got to get him, too.
Well,
yeah, I don't know, that's my area, but I know they got a receiver down there, like 6'4".
Yeah, really good receiver.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we got
talented.
Yeah.
Very talented. When the last time you been down there?
I've been down there a few months ago, Coach.
Okay.
If you use me. My uncle told me the more you can do.
As a matter of fact, you know Doug McFadden?
Yeah.
Well, talk to Doug. He still worked, I think, at the school at Stranahan.
When I was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we had our shirt that said, use me. That's what it meant. When we walk in the building, Coach, use me. Get the job done. But I love Omar Graham. I've been watching him for quite some time. He's a heck of a ball player, and I ain't saying that because I'm biased. Well, I might be biased, but let's keep it real. Y'all saw the tape. He actually can play. So next up, Mr. Rodney Hill. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Rodney Hill.
Rodney's really versatile. The kid can play in the backfield. He also plays defensive back, but he also can go out into the pass game. Really good receiver. Really smart kid. Right now he's a real upright runner, but he's fast, he's physical, and again, one of the smartest kids on the team and in the school. He'll probably come here as a college sophomore and taking college courses since a junior in high school.
Oh, he was taking college courses as a junior?
Yes, really smart kid.
I didn't do that.
Well, I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't by choice.
My bad.
But we're glad to have him on the team, glad to get him in this room with the rest of the running backs, and I think he's going to be a major asset for us.
Coach, when you talk about your running backs, you did a tremendous job in developing kids this year, and clearly were productive. But what are you looking at when it comes to guys that's going to play in the backfield for you?
Obviously, the very first thing I look for, how smart a guy. I want a really smart running back, and the next thing I'm looking for footwork and vision. You know, at the end of the day, I want to see what type of vision they have, what type of footwork they have, because after the third step, they're going to have to make some type of cut.
No question.
And I want to see how tough you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell our guys all the time, you know, I'm going to coach you hard, and that's everybody on our staff. We're going to continue to coach you hard because we want the best out of you.
No
that's
doubt.
on
no
and
doubt.
off the field.
Well, I appreciate you, Coach.
Guys did a good job of that.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you finished?
Yeah.
You got to be courteous up here, you feel me? But appreciate you, Coach Yak, Coach Shannon, for joining me here, talking about linebacker Omar Graham Jr. and Rodney Hill, running back. Two outstanding prospects, and most importantly, like you heard him say, high-character kids that you love being around. So next up, we're going to bring back the man of the hour. Coach Norvell will be joining me to kind of wrap things up. Put the final touches on this outstanding class of 14 prospects. Talking about the future. Coach, how excited are you? You just seen the highlights. I know you didn't watch these highlights 1,000 times, but hearing the coaches rave about the kids they're going to coach, you know, how excited are you about this class?
I'm extremely excited, and this is just the start. And that's one of the things that we all have to keep in mind, that, you know, over these next couple of days, over the next couple of months, we're going to continue to add guys that are going to bring a dynamic element to this program. You know, this past year, you know, I believe you looked through the examples of what we've seen, and this was something that, you know, a lot of this signing class was committed for a while. And, you know, through some of the challenges, they saw the response. And that's what we've talked about, is a foundation that's been built. And that's what I'm excited with our football team, the way that they've responded through. They've learned how to work, they've learned how to believe, and they've learned how to overcome. And there's a great deal of confidence within our football team right now. And the young men that we're bringing into the program today, the young men that will continue to add to our program into this signing class, will be the Knowles of the future. And so excited about where we're going. But I'm also grateful for the experiences that we've had to get us to this point, because we have the culture, the foundation, all those things are in a great place. Now it's time to take that next step, and that's what this group is going to help spark as we move forward.
Last question for you, Coach. The transfer portal was wonderful for us last year. Are there any transfers that you potentially believe you can land in the near future?
You know, today was a great focus of the high school student athletes that are going to join, and we will address some needs and continue to bring experienced players that might be looking for a unique opportunity. We saw that last year with guys like Jermaine, Kier, Jamie Robinson, guys that not only came in and were great on the field, but were wonderful leaders for us off the field as well. And that's what we're looking for. And there will be probably a handful of guys that will be joining the program. And once again, it's all about finding the right fit.
There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Getting an opportunity to learn, see some of the outstanding prospects. We just signed 14. How many are you trying to sign in February, Coach, real quick?
We'll have probably, like I said, probably 16 to 20, maybe a couple more that will be joining in January.
Gotcha.
And then, this has got an opportunity to be a full class. And, there's some, with this year, the COVID additions, there could be, a little bit more than 25 when we're all said and done.
Okay. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the event. Enjoy all the coaches highlighting their prospects. You see these individuals love what they do. That's why they attack it, because recruiting is tough. It's time consuming. It goes a lot into doing that. So understand that it takes a lot for these coaches to go out and be quality individuals and family men as well. So remind yourself that, and it takes a lot of time, right, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely, and I just appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And I do want to take a moment to thank the families, the coaches, the staff. All the sacrifice for all the families of the recruits that that have taken that step. And this is a special day. This is a new beginning and a new opportunity. So to all of our coaches' families, all the support staff, to everybody a part of the university that helped showcase our wonderful place and this wonderful institution. We're grateful for you, and there are great days ahead here for Florida State football, and these young men are going to help lead the way.
Well, let's have some drinks. Where the music at? Let's turn it into a party, huh? Thank you for joining.